It has come to this. The Imperial Japanese Navy faced the mightiest foe in the Pacific, and to ensure our expansion into Malaysia and the Dutch East Indies, we will deliver a preemptive strike immediately. Commander-in-Chief Yamamoto's plan to paralyze the US.
Your commentator is Joe O'Brien. Here is the motion picture record released by the United States Navy of the havoc wrought by the Japs' sneak sky and sea raid on Pearl Harbor, America's mid-Pacific naval bastion. On December 7, 1941, Japan, like its infamous Axis partners, struck first and declared war afterwards. Costly to our Navy was the loss of war vessels, airplanes, and equipment, but more costly to Japan was the effectiveness of its foul attack in immediately unifying America in its determination to fight and win the war thrust upon it, and to win the peace that will follow. The Japs copied their German masters in striking hard at airfields. Hickam Field, northwest of Honolulu, and the Ford Island Naval Plane Base were the first objectives of Japan's treachery. Scores of planes were bruised and battered by the Japs' aerial bombs. Many of these were demolished beyond repair. Direct hits were scored on hangars, and these were badly shattered. Equipment and airplane supplies were reduced to smoldering ruins. Here at the Naval Air Station is grim and positive evidence of Jap treachery. Here foul blows were struck, while Jap diplomats were talking peace in Washington. First to feel the sting of Japanese steel are the USS Oklahoma and Utah, the latter a 33-year-old target ship. Accurate hits by the enemy bombers make short work of these two naval bulwarks. Now, with their keels practically out of water, they lie helpless wrecks and a sad reminder of cowardly strategy. To make possible a surprise attack within Pearl Harbor, the Japs built two-man submarines to enable them to fire sneak blows within waters that are narrow and tortuous. Several of these surprise weapons were blown from the water by direct hits of our naval gunners. Others were beached and captured. Before the din of bursting bombs had been silenced, preparations were underway to salvage these two warships. At low tide, the huge propeller of the Oklahoma, stilled by the enemy, was high above water. It is believed that the small two-man Jap submarines carrying dual torpedo tubes were responsible for these two losses to our Pacific fleet. Here is the actual bombing of the mighty USS Arizona by Jap planes. These pictures were made by a fearless cameraman who thought nothing of his personal safety to make possible this record for all posterity. A single lucky hit was responsible for the disaster that befell the Arizona when a Jap bomb falling directly through one of the battleship's funnels exploded in the engine room and set ablaze tons of fuel oil. Dense black smoke billowed to the sky as the massive control tower began to keel over. The Arizona's courageous crew stuck to its guns until the very end. Here was displayed heroism that will live forever in the glorious annals and traditions of the American Navy. The once mighty Arizona now rests on Pearl Harbor's muddy bottom, a pitiful relic of its former self, a grim monument to the treachery of Japan. The once mighty dreadnought's armor plate is twisted and torn, but the great battleship's control tower still stands, a defiant beacon that in days to come will cast its shadow upon Nippon's very shores. At Pearl Harbor, at Hickam Field, in the bomb-pocked streets of Honolulu, ever is written history. History with a tragic, treacherous pen. History that 130 million Americans will never forget. And in days to come, the Japs, too, will remember Pearl Harbor.
In a war against the United States, Hawaii is the most important naval base the enemy has. It is America's Gibraltar. Any ships heading to the Far East have to stop and refuel there. Hawaii is the key.
Enemy formation at anchor. 9 battleships, 1 heavy cruiser, 6 light cruisers.
The Americans don't have any vessel capable of sailing from San Francisco to Manila and back without refueling at Hawaii.
Wind direction from 80 grad. Speed 14 knots. Visibility over enemy fleet 1,700 meters. Cloud density 7.
And as America deploys her fleet far out into the Pacific, we are certain to find it assembled at Pearl Harbor.
The enemy fleet is in Pearl Harbor. Tora, Tora, Tora!
The A6M0 is a terrific fighter, something the Americans can't match. It had a 99-to-0 kill ratio over China, and that's more than the proof of quality. It's fast and agile. The American pilots are going to be taken by surprise. Most might not make it into the air.
Strike all their planes on the ground.
Clouds, mostly over the mountains. Visibility good. 50 or more unidentified aircraft on a course for Oahu. Picked up a large formation. Confirmed. Well, don't worry about it. Aircraft lost on radar. They've entered the dead zone.
Enemy planes are parked in a line on the ground. Destroy as many as possible.
Lost contact. Radio station's gone down.
Do not allow them the chance to take off. Acknowledged, sir. Fighters are pulling back, sir! Good! Now we can send in some heavy weaponry! We just hit something explosive, sir. Good hit! The ship blew apart. Fire spread to a nearby battleship. 2 kills with 1 bomb. You bring glory to your unit.
No, a huge fireball. Tanker Neosho's been hit. USS California was caught by that explosion. The main deck's taken serious damage. the destroyer. It's sinking. This is the Moynihan. We've been torpedoed. Crew's abandoning ship. That was close. Those pigs are trying to ram us. Thank you. That's excellent. Good work. Now get back to your target.
My name is Henry Walker. I'm currently a U.S. Naval Lieutenant on the USS Phoenix. All my life, I wanted to follow my father's footsteps, be a Navy man. Now that I'm here, well, it just ain't what I hoped it would be. Then again, they say be careful what you wish for.
fighters! Circle over the harbor and maintain air control! A sudden devastating air attack. The rising sun symbol has been seen on the enemy's wings.
Don't block traffic. This is not a drill.
Fighter Ace are? At least you died in the air.
arising out of an attack upon the territory of Hawaii, and that all of the circumstances make it advised to protect the territory and its inhabitants. I do declare and proclaim a defense period to exist throughout the territory of Hawaii.
It was a perfect surprise attack. American warships were quickly sent to the bottom. But although the strike was executed flawlessly, we didn't find any enemy carriers at Pearl Harbor, so we remain on alert. The carriers are out there and we can't let them interfere with our plans for expansion.
how the guys are just like, they literally have no protection whatsoever. Oh, wow! Why did he shoot the frickin'? I know. Holy shite! No, no! It's the frickin' French! No! That wasn't the French, that was the frickin' Jack.